Now, you have some moments in your life, especially on your journey as a musician, that are just purely magic. And one of those moments is a story involving Joe Cocker.
We're going to take a little Three Stooges break. We'll be right back after this headbutt. Well, oh no, it's the shovel. Okay, Mo hits Larry in the head with the shovel. Larry turns around and hits Curly. Curly says, "What'd you do that for?" And we're done. Okay. Well, we're talking about magic moments in my life, and the Three Stooges song went off. So I think it's quite appropriate, actually. Yeah.
Now, you've had some truly magical moments, especially in your career as a musician. You're going to throw me off. Now, one of those magical moments came to be in how you joined forces with Joe Cocker, how you came to play with Joe Cocker. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about how that went down.
You know, life is so funny. You try to plot things or legislate the bounces, so to speak, like you hit the ball and you hope it goes where you want it to go. And usually the end result is something you never expected. And then when you look back at it, you say, oh, it kind of does make sense. I was really lucky with the Joe thing because a friend of mine was actually his full-time keyboard player, a guy named Jeff Levine, great keyboard player. And he had been with Joe for quite a few tours, and in fact they had just recorded and released the Unchain My Heart album. And that's Jeff in the beginning of Unchain My Heart. He's so good. And Jeff knew, being a friend of mine, and we had been in other bands together, that I loved Joe Cocker's music, so he invited me to the rehearsal. And I was so psyched. I went and I watched them rehearse, and when they took a break, everybody left the room, or so I thought. And Jeff said, "Come on over to the piano." I came over to the piano and we were talking, and they did this tune called Hitchcock Railway, which was an old tune. I'm not sure who played piano on it. I think it might have been Chris Stainton, who's very much one of my idols. But I said to Jeff, you know, it's not quite the way it goes, in a sort of under my breath way. And he goes, "Well, play it." And I go, "No way, man, I'm not gonna play it. It's just, you know." And he goes, "No, so play it for me." So I played the intro to Hitchcock Railway, and we heard this noise across the room. It was, "What was that?" And it was Joe. He was watching us. So Jeff introduced me to Joe, said, "This is my friend Danny." And Joe said, "I thought I heard a ghost," which was probably one of the best compliments that I could have ever had in my life at that time, because I was struggling, just coming up, and this was my first big tour, it turned out to be. And Joe said, "Do you travel light?" That was the next thing he said. And then he introduced me to his manager. I came back the next day with my trumpet, which is pretty much where I ended up with Joe, on trumpet, playing auxiliary keyboards, while Jeff carried the Hammond organ and the piano duties, which is really the meat and potatoes of Joe's keyboard parts. So I would play a few things. I did play one piano part every night, which was the intro to Hitchcock Railway, and played trumpet. And we toured for 7 months, and Joe was gracious and wonderful. The music was great. I got to learn about being on the road, and he sort of mentored me into the next phase of my life, from being like a barroom musician and wondering where the next thing was going to happen, and it was Joe. And so that was great.
Oh, boogie.net, that's what you get. Oh, boogie.net, oh, boogie, hey, .net, that's what you get. Yeah.